A recent headline caught my attention. Feral hogs, a growing problem in Missouri Ozarks. Now, this article had some theories about how 30,000 feral hogs have ended up in the Missouri Ozarks, primarily in the Mark Twain National Forest, which is the southern part of Missouri, down on the Arkansas border. It got me thinking. Back in 1978, my husband Harry and I bought 10 acres of land right outside West Plains, Missouri, down in the Ozarks on the Arkansas border next to the Mark Twain National Forest. We bought 10 acres that had a house, a barn, a pond, spring, a couple of horses, a donkey, and a mess of pigs. Now, being a country kid, Harry wanted to grow a garden. So he went into town, to West Plains, to the Aid Hardware on the courthouse square, and bought some seed packets to plant himself a garden. I chose not to plant a garden. Well, during that growing season, I kept busy in the house, doing some remodeling. And at the end of the growing season, Harry came to me one day and said, "I want to show you my garden." And I hadn't seen it. I followed Harry out of the house, past the barn, past the pond, past that spring, up that little hill, and there was Harry's garden. "Harry, did you plant anything besides cabbage?" And Harry said, well, no. Aid Hardware had a special on cabbage seed packets that I just could not resist. "Harry, how many heads of cabbage are here?" He said, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 500. I said, "Harry, you do not like cabbage unless it's made into coleslaw. You don't like cooked cabbage, boiled cabbage, you don't like sauerkraut. Only coleslaw. You and I cannot eat that much coleslaw, and we don't know enough people around here that will eat that much coleslaw. It's going to rot in the field." And he said, "Well, think of something. So I thought of something. I took one of those big cabbage heads and a black marker, and I drew 2 eyes, and a nose and a mouth and a couple ears and kind of drew some hair. And then I took some twigs and fashioned them and fastened them together, covered them with fabric cloth, and I made what I called a Cabbage Patch doll. And I thought, these are so cute. I will sell these out of the back of the pickup down on the courthouse square in West Plains. We'll make some money out of Harry's mess. Well, if you live in the Ozarks, you know that sun is hot, 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 hot. I could not make dolls fast enough. Those cabbage heads were rotting. So there was only one thing to do. Feed them to the pigs, because the pigs will eat anything. So Harry and I chucked hundreds of heads of cabbage into the pig pen. And the pigs ate them all. Well, the next morning I was working in the kitchen, looked out the window, and something just did not look right down in the pig pen. So I went out to the pig pen to get a closer look. Those pigs were kind of, well, you know, some of you may have the same trouble when you eat raw vegetables, especially as you get older. It kind of bloats you up, causes gas. And these pigs were getting all bloated up from eating all that cabbage. They were so bloated. As I stood there looking at this, the little pigs began to lift up off the ground. They were so bloated. Just lifted up off the ground. And then the little bit bigger pigs began to lift up off the ground. But then my prized sow, Petunia. She began to lift up off the ground. Well, I could not lose my prized sow, Petunia. So I grabbed Petunia's hind leg. I was going to hold her down. But she had eaten so much cabbage. She was so bloated. She started lifting me up off the ground. And I yelled, Harry, Harry, call 911, get help, quick! The west wind began to float the pigs and me toward West Plains. I looked down, hanging on to Petunia. I looked down, and there was Porter Wagner Boulevard, the main street that goes clear through West Plains. And down there was the courthouse square where I was going to make all that money making those beautiful little Cabbage Patch dolls. Oh, and there's that Aid Hardware where he bought all those cabbage seed packets. And then I heard a siren. It was the fire truck. I saw the fire truck coming. It went down, there it went. It went on a little farther to the east and pulled into the Piggly Wiggly supermarket parking lot. And I saw the firefighters jump out, and then they all gathered around something, and I thought, oh, they have a trampoline net. I will be able to let go, and they will catch me safely when I let go of Petunia. So I get over that, and sure enough, the fire chief is yelling, just let go, we'll catch you. Just let go, we'll catch you. And I look down right before I let go of Petunia. That's not a trampoline net. We are in the Ozarks. It's a quilt. But the pattern of that quilt was Jacob's ladder. See, the fire chief had asked for a new ladder, and by golly, he got it. So when I'm right over it, and the fire chief says, let go, I let go of Petunia, and I drop safely into that quilt. I'm back on the ground. Now, there were a lot of people at Piggly Wiggly that day, and they were all watching the spectacle. And then I remembered it's Tuesday. Every Tuesday, Piggly Wiggly has their pickled pig's feet special. So we're watching that breeze is still blowing those pigs to the east, right to the Mark Twain National Forest that butts up right against the east edge of West Plains, Missouri. And as we're all standing there watching, we hear Now, you know how it is when you take a balloon and you blow it up just as big as you can, and then you let loose of it, and as that balloon loses air, it's going around and up and down as it loses that air? Okay, that's what these pigs were doing. They were twirling around and up and down. There was an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here an oink, there an oink, everywhere an oink oink. And then those pigs began to slowly fall to the ground very gently as they were losing their bloatedness. And they were beginning to scurry into the forest. Petunia landed last. When I saw Petunia land, I said, Suey, Suey, here, piggy, piggy, because I couldn't lose Petunia. I had to hang on to Petunia. Suey, Suey. Petunia took a look at me, raised her snout nose in the air, turned around 180 degrees, straightened that curly tail of hers. And she sauntered into the Mark Twain National Forest. I never saw my pigs again. Feral hogs, a growing problem in Missouri Ozarks, all because in 1978, Aid Hardware had a special on cabbage seed packets that Harry just could not resist.